Another member of Cincinnati City Council was arrested today. This is the third member of council since February that has been arrested on federal charges. Um, it's Maya Denard, Jeff Pasture, and then PG Sittenfeld was arrested today or yesterday on federal charges. All of them for bribery, wire fraud, shit like that. They're selling their votes, which should be no surprise. Everybody knows it happens. Nothing's done about it from the local level, right here in Cincinnati, all the way to the president. It happens. Um, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we all, like I said, we all know it happens. I got into a conversation with somebody tonight. It started out real, just a genuine conversation. And then when I once said something, then I said something, and the person immediately defaulted to, yeah, let's give criminals firearms. So I didn't say anything about giving criminals anything. I just mentioned something about everybody, without exception, have the right to keep and bear arms. And then I directed him toward the My Gift to You video. For a long time, I believed that we could change things if enough people had the correct mindset and drive. We could actually turn it around. The problem is there's not enough people with the correct mindset or drive, because the same people that are sitting around saying come and take them today are going to be the ones in front of the line to hand them over tomorrow. The ones that say shall not be infringed are the first ones to point a finger and say, oh, except for that group. I think the best that maybe we can hope for is, I don't know. I hate saying this. It bothers me to even say this, but I try to be a realist about things, and the reality is that we've lost. Even if we hit a reset button right now, it's 12:24 a.m. Even if I hit a reset button right now, by the time I woke up in the morning, we'd be 98% back to where we are. And it's because people don't know what freedom is. They don't know what rights are. They don't know what the Constitution is or what it says. They don't know how our government was designed to operate. Hell, half the people can't make it through the day without, some kind of government assistance in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I think it's going to have to get a lot worse, before it can ever get better. I don't think it's ever going to go back to what it's supposed to be or what the intent was. And it's willful ignorance is what it is. People just, if the guy on the TV is not telling me, I can't learn it or I won't learn it. Nobody grabs books anymore. They take everything they hear as fact. The latest argument in the country is, if people would spend the time they spend arguing about which slave master is the best. The right spent 4 years laughing at the left because their slave master won, and now the left's getting some payback and laughing at the right. Um, and even with those people, I don't even have any faith in the system. I don't believe in the system any longer at all. If you don't know something is wrong with our election processes by now, there's a problem. When they give you the only two options that you had to choose from realistically, that's not a you don't get to that's not a vote. You're just choosing which slave master that they're giving you. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Jones Plantation. There's a lot of truth in that. It's another Larkin Rose video. There's a lot of truth in that video. Like I said, me and Larkin, though, we disagree on the solution. His solution is end all government and borders and everything like that. I'm smart enough to know that excuse me, as soon as you do that, somebody fills that power vacuum. They hire their own enforcement arm, and then they rule over you. So that's why I tell people that if this ever does become an anarchist society, enjoy it for the couple of minutes while it lasts, because I'm going to be dictator the next morning. Which I wouldn't do that. I have no desire to rule over anyone. And I don't know the correct way for us to move forward. I think at some point, I don't know. I just know that it's it's going to have to get a whole lot worse before there's any chance of it getting better. And the only reason I say that is because it's going to have to get a whole lot worse before people are going to be willing to listen. You know, when you try to tell people that somebody in jail still has the right to keep and bear arms, like, oh, they're in jail, they immediately default to the possession of that item, the possession of that property. They can't grasp onto, well, a right has nothing to do with property. And I use that example to people all the time, and they don't get it. One out of every 1,000 might get it. And I talk to people a lot on the internet. I dedicate way too much time to the internet. Actually, the last couple of days, I've set my phone down, and I want to try to set it down more and more each day. Just, I don't know. I'm burnt out on it, man. It's like I'm fighting a battle that's, I don't want to say it's not worth fighting, but trying to convince people and trying to make people listen and trying to educate people, just, you don't get anywhere unless it's what they want to hear, unless it suits their feelings. You know, we've watered so much shit down in this country that words are meaningless. The term patriot is almost meaningless. I mean, Beto O'Rourke said he was a patriot. I mean, like, people are calling themselves terms that are, it's the, you know, other people's, I don't want to say duty, but it's other people's opinions that should decide if that's what that person is or not. You know, and how does this turn out? How does the whole election thing turn out? I mean, if Biden gets in office, you know what's coming. If Trump gets in office, you know what's coming. There's no way it can turn out that's going to be good. So how do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for what you don't know is coming? But you know it's coming. It's like, it's a weird conversation to have. I've been having it, you know, mildly with people the last couple of days, and you can't really prepare when you don't know what your choices are going to be at the time. Especially where I'm at. Like, where I'm at it's a death trap. For me, it is anyway. For my family, it is anyway, because I don't hide who I am. Everybody on the street knows my feelings about certain things. So I will be the first one on the street that's snitched on or mobbed. I just don't see it getting better, especially anytime soon. Especially not when we accept things like we know our vote don't count, or when we accept that 3 out of, well, it's 7 members of, I think it's 7 members, maybe 5 now. I don't even know anymore. I don't even pay attention. Members of city council have been arrested on federal bribery and money laundering and wire fraud charges not even in the last year. And they won't be the last, because they just call for an audit of all, I guess, major developments over the last 3 years. So they're going to audit all those developments and see exactly how. I mean, they're going to see exactly who voted on what and possibly why. But I mean, we had a streetcar built down here. I know the ticket was, I think it was over $500 million or something crazy, some astronomical number, like $500 million. And they, you know, swore that there were going to be, you know, so many thousands of people ride it every day, and they swore it was going to pay for it. So it was not only going to pay for itself, it was going to pay for all this other bullshit. And now you can get on the streetcar for free, just so people will get on it. Nobody was riding it. Like, nobody was riding it. Like, it was happening. I think it was something like less than 400 or 500 people a day get on it. But somebody took a bribe in that. Like, everybody knew it. Like, PG Sittenfeld, the guy that was arrested today, he flipped his vote on the streetcar. It was no, yes. And we accept it. We can't do anything because we're not government. The government can do whatever it wants. You know, the people in power can do whatever they want. And I don't think there's enough people who think like me that we can change everything on a large scale, maybe on a small scale. I mean, down the road, um, time for peaceful separation come. I don't know. I don't even know how that would work out. I seen a sorry, got switch hands. I seen a video from security guy 42. I believe is his name. He did it like a video on what he thinks is going to happen, and it was an interesting video. I don't know where he came up with his conclusions at, but it was an interesting video anyway. And maybe something like that would happen. Maybe the country would split up into multiple factions, and it would be the what's left of the United States fighting the Democratic Republic of the United States, fighting the whatever other faction comes out to play. Like I just want to be left alone, and it's not going to happen in my lifetime. It's a sad punch in the mouth is what it is. And it's not only me. I mean, it's any of you all too. Like you will never be able to live your life as free as you should be, as free as you're supposed to be. And it's not because of things that you've done. It's because everyone else is just too unwilling to learn. They're too unwilling to even ask themselves basic questions. They're too unwilling to get a book out and read because it's easier to Google. Like Google ain't biased. They would rather spend their time on YouTube trying to prove what you're saying is insane as opposed to spending that 15 minutes and going to get a library card or something. And libraries do still exist. I was at one the other day. I don't know. I wish I could see the future, but I can't. If any of you all can, you let me know. Get in touch with me. We can become friends. But I think that we are coming up to a time when we are going to have to make really hard choices. Good men are going to have to do a lot of bad shit. And I don't just mean that like I don't mean on even a large scale. But there's, there will come a time when a good man has to do some bad shit to make sure that his family survives. And I guess the morality question comes into play there. And is it bad if the other people are bad? I would say no. And then, who's the enemy? Who do we fight? Even if it's just a verbal argument, who do you fight? Because I don't want anything the left has to offer. I don't want anything the right has to offer either. I don't want anything the anarchists have to offer. Well, I should have said anarchists, the non-government people, whatever that name is now. I don't want anything the anarchists have to offer either. So, like, where am I at? I would say that I'm like a true constitutionalist. Oh, there's a lot of people that disagree with me. I hear it all the time. All the time. I don't know. I think maybe the next year will be interesting. And I think by us allowing government to do what it's doing now and shut down states and put in curfews and tell you when you got to wear a mask or when you can't wear a mask, cancel holidays, you can't pray, your kids can't go to school. That's a bad thing right there. We're only being conditioned for more and more what's to come. I mean, if they tell you have to stay, you can't go out past 10 to 5 today, 3 weeks from now, it's going to be you can't go out at all. And if you abide by that today, you're going to abide by it then too. Like I'm at my house right now just because I'm at my house. Bet your ass if I want to go somewhere, my ass would be in the car on my way there. And anybody that stopped me would have a problem. They'd have a problem to deal with for sure. And then who wins in that? Nobody. I don't. I wind up dead on the side of the road, and my kids have no father, and my wife has no husband. I'm just sick of it, y'all. I'm just sick of it, all of it. And I genuinely want to be left alone by everybody. Not you all. I mean, everybody, all the crazies. Crazies fighting over whether it was election fraud or not, or who's a better dictator or not, or just it's all fucking mind blowing to me. I start thinking about it and I get stressed out. Like you can't say you're free if you call those people the authorities. You see how that works? The definition of being free is there not being no authority over you. You're free. And people just, they don't get it, man. It's brainwashing. Like, the past 170 years, 60 years has been nothing but a damn, just a bombardment of brainwashing to the public. And the public have eaten it up. They've swallowed it up because their couch was comfortable, or because they had to make it a little Jimmy's softball game on Saturday, or whatever, their soccer game, or whatever the hell Jimmy plays. I just don't see it getting any better. Tell me what you all think. What do you think's going to happen?